The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, I was patrolling all the boxing websites the other day, looking for the latest news and whatnot to figure out what I wanted to do a video about. And what do I see? I see some straight buffoonery. I see some straight clown stuff, some straight BS in regards to what's happening in the Super Flyweight Division. And what I saw was an article that basically, in layman's terms, stated that WBC is ordering a title shot next between Estrada, a third fight between Juan Estrada, Estrada, and Rungviasi for a third time, blatantly interfering with the money fight in the division, the biggest fight at Super Flyweight, one of the biggest fights in all boxing, and that's Estrada versus Roman Gonzalez, the rematch. And the way I look at it is simply like this: the WBC is interfering with Roman Gonzalez and Estrada. I don't know why. I have my theories. Personally, I think that they know Roman Gonzalez is going to beat Estrada no matter what happens. So they're trying to get in the middle of the fight happening so they can try to age out Chocoaltito Gonzalez and give Estrada the best chance to win. Because the reality is this: Roman Gonzalez, is the Mexicutioner. He ain't never lost to the Mexican fighters. He's like Manny Pacquiao was for a while, when Manny Pacquiao was beating all the Mexican fighters. He's a Mexicutioner, okay? He's the man. Roman Gonzalez is that guy. He is the former 4-division champion. He is the former lineal flyweight champion. He is the former power pound king of boxing, He is the current WBA Super Flyweight champion. And nobody ever thought he'd be a champion again, okay? And this fight has to happen next. Rungviasi versus Estrada 3 will be an amazing fight. The first two fights were brilliant. I'm not slitting or slacking off that matchup because I think it's a very great fight. But this right here is the best fight in the division. And it's a fight that for many reasons has to happen. Number one, it is the money fight in the division. It's the only fight at 115 that can command a $1 million payday for both fighters. Both fighters in this fight can command a $1 million payday, which is very rare at Super Flyweight. You would have to go back all the way to the days of Michael Carbajal and Chiquita Gonzalez to find a fight at this weight where both fighters are getting that kind of money. So, for the fighters, business-wise, it makes sense. For the promoters, business-wise, it makes sense. If these two guys fight at the StubHub Center in Carson, California, this fight will 100% sell it out as the headlining fight, because I've seen it with my own 4 eyes. Roman Gonzalez can move numbers. He can sell tickets. The Nicaraguans come out for Roman Gonzalez in LA. When I was there the night he fought Carlos Cuadras at the Forum, he had more fans than Carlos Cuadras in LA. And how many times do you see that? A fighter from a country as small as Nicaragua having more fans in LA in the crowd than the Mexican fighter? Never happens. He'll be well represented in that crowd if they fight at the StubHub Center. So for the promoters and the networks, this fight makes sense. And then when we talk about the fans, right? Let's talk about the fans of boxing, the beautiful fans of this great sport of boxing. Okay, that fight, their first fight took place in 2012, something like that. So for 8 long, grueling, hellacious years as boxing fans, no matter which side of the spectrum you're on, if you support Chocoaltito or if you support Estrada, it's been 8 years too long, and boxing fans have been salivating over this fight. If you support Estrada, you want this fight to happen because you feel like Estrada was young when he fought Chocoaltito. You feel like the fact that he had to scale down in weight to 108 pounds back in the day to fight Chocoaltito hindered him, and that's why Chocoaltito won. And you feel like he's matured enough, and you feel like it's his time now to rule the division and beat Chocoaltito Gonzalez. But then if you're a staunch or a avid Roman Gonzalez fan like I am, then you feel like it don't matter what fucking weight class they fight in. They can fight any weight class they want to fight. Chocoaltito's always going to be Estrada because the style-wise, Chocoaltito's just a better fighter. And Chocoaltito is the creme of the division. He's the top of the top, the best of the best. And while Estrada is great, Roman Gonzalez is an all-time great. And that's how us Chocoaltito fans feel when we talk about this fight. So I really hate hearing this news because they're blatantly interfering with the biggest fight in boxing. I feel like the winner of this fight should fight Rungviasi if they want to make the fight later on, because I feel like if Guy wins this fight, people will love to see a third Rungviasi fight, and it'll make it bigger because then he'd be even a bigger clear-cut star in the division because he's now beating the guy that beat him, you know, years ago in Chocoaltito. He'll have avenged that loss. And if Chocoaltito beats Estrada, oh my God, if he beats Estrada, that means he's 2-0 against Estrada. It means he beat Estrada when he was in his prime, and he beat Estrada when Estrada was in his prime. So he beat Estrada in different weight classes, in different scenarios, at different stages of his career. So we put Estrada to bed, and then that makes the third Rungviasi fight so amazing because Rungviasi is the only guy in his whole career that has his number. So I feel like they should put Rungviasi on standby and let this fight happen because it'll make a Rungviasi fight bigger. You see what I'm saying? But the way I see it is this, and I could be wrong. But if history tells us anything about the WBC, the fact of the matter is that the WBC has a long history of placating, pandering, and giving the advantage to Mexican fighters. That's a fact. That's not me hating. That's not me hating on the Mexican fighters. I love the Mexican fighters. I love the Mexicans in general. Hell, all my ex-girlfriends are Mexican. I love the Mexicans, but the reality is this, man. Like, that's what it is. They're getting in the way of Chocoaltito fighting Estrada next because they see the form that he's in. You know, they saw what he did to Calify, who was younger, longest reigning champion in all the UK at the time he fought him. You know, they saw what he did to the young, dangerous, and formidable Israel Gonzalez with ease. You know, they saw what he did to Israel Gonzalez, and they know that guy Estrada, while he's very good, while he's very skilled, while he's very technical and very polished, he can't beat Roman Gonzalez. And he'll never beat Roman Gonzalez. It's not happening. And they're trying to do everything they can to age Roman Gonzalez out, interfere with Roman Gonzalez, and try to get Chocoaltito in the worst position possible before he fights Gallo Estrada, when Gallo Estrada is the best version of himself. So I'm calling it out there. It's blatant corruption. It's blatant buffoonery. And truthfully speaking, if Rungviasi does fight Estrada a third time, I'm a Gallo Estrada fan. I like him, but just on general principle and see what the WBC is trying to do, I hope Rungviasi knocks that dude out straight up because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. There's no reason that this should even be a thing right now. There's no reason that this should even be a discussion. If you're not talking about Chocoaltito versus Estrada, the rematch, you ain't talking about nothing. You are not talking about anything at 115 right now. Nothing. Not a damn thing. So that's my opinion on the matter. You can give yours down below. Make sure you take time to subscribe. Like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.